above to arrest? What is Sunday Agbo? Why don't they arrest him? Is he above to arrest? They arrest Nandikan. After now, is in detention. They support to arrest Sunday Agbo because he carry letter, go to England, and he come back and he's working freely and he was not arrested. Let us not be sentimental, please. This Nigeria is not for Northerners, it's not for Igbo, it's not for Yoruba, it's not for Fulani, it's not for Orobo, it's Nigeria. We have to stand that. Where are you, Nigeria? And what are you, Nigeria? So we have to fight. If you are Mr. F commit offense, let him judge as Mr. B. They not what Mr. F committed, will not. If IG want to do his job, actually, they should arrest Sunday Agbo also. Because for him carrying that letter, it's also a terrorist and it's also a felony. It's against the rule of the country, of any other country, for somebody to look that up within that is causing problem. And they know him as a terrorist. Why don't you be arrested and he's working freely? So if they cannot arrest him, then also they should release Nnamdi police. Because I don't see a reason why holding while this person is working freely and doing all activities they feel to do. The last time when he come, the local secretary in Oyo State, the secretary ammonia that they need to Odudua, gave him the clear president. One female, Abiola, where is she? Where did he arrest? And where do they prosecute her? Which court does he go? Which prison are they? Which are they in DSS in Oyo? Or where are they after now? Nobody know. And they were arrested. So, as they arrested, what are the distances? Where are they? Simple. We could not be able to get them, and that thing is paining me to do. And if we want to do justice, President should order arrest of Sunday Agbo. That's all. That is my take.
Position, Mr. President. We must rise to it. They are killing people in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north. We should shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay in our homes. Our country is bleeding. People are in poverty. There's no food. People are hungry. Insecurity is threatening us. We cannot pretend. It's better we are not here. That's the next thing that here. People are dying. Every day Nigerians are dying. We need not run away from the fact that more than ever before in the history of our nation, this is the worst instability we are facing. In fact, this is worse than the Civil War.
Are you in PDP?
Mr. President, the solution is very simple. Today, there are a lot of misgiving, a lot of misinterpretations of what is happening. Some people believe, some people in government are supporting this move. Some people believe, some people sponsor those who are destabilizing our nation within the country. The answer is very simple. We cannot pretend that we are capable of confronting the situation in our hands. America, powerful as they are, when the pandemic came, got to a point that China had to claim, they came to their rescue. We shouldn't pretend that we needed foreign support now. Let nobody deceive us, Mr. President. A lot of billions of naira have been voted for security services. Nothing is coming out of it. We wouldn't wait until our nation gets bombed. Let us shout and call for foreign support. I am a APC man and I've been supporting my party, but the president should get to know that it has gotten to a point that we who are supporters, who are members of the APC, we can no longer keep quiet. The president must rise to the occasion. You know, you not see the truth and you are afraid to say it because you will die. We must open, Mr. President. The nation is on fire. The president must rise to the occasion. It costs us nothing to get foreign support. We must rise to the occasion. We must bring in people to save this country, or else we'll be consumed. Every one of us will have a chapter for history. Whenever the history of this period will be written, whatever is our position, we have a chapter. We cannot keep quiet any longer. It has gotten to a point that we cannot sleep with our two eyes closed. We are not free. Our children are not free. The president must rise to the occasion. There's no nation that is so powerful that doesn't need support of other nations. Individual cannot say you will leave the world without any other person with you. So we must rise. The situation is our security system has collapsed. It has failed. And because it has failed, we need to look for foreign support. It costs Nigeria nothing. Forget the ego, forget the superiority of Nigeria in African nation. Today, we are facing serious problems. If our nation is to survive this period, I'm not in doubt that the security architecture we have today cannot cope with what we are facing. Every part of this.
All right, I greet you all, fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Akpan Asokwo, Biafran Radical Freedom TV projecting today. Happy Sunday to you all. in the light of what is going on, I just brought to you, this is a fresh thing I just played here. It's just a couple of hours ago. So you can see the yardstick for why people should be arrested. Anybody who asks for self-determination is a terrorist, is a criminal. So Sunday Igboho should be arrested because he submitted letter demanding for self-determination. That is where we find ourselves. And this is a country who rectified the United Nations Charter, which gave rights to people of goodwill who wishes to have the state of their own, who wishes to rule over their own affairs. And this is the same place who say it is a democracy. So unfortunate, you can hear how all the Northerners, those who say they're educated, and the illiterates alike, the yardstick for you to become a terrorist is for demanding for self-determination. And then Nnamdi Kanu was referenced here. So some foolish Igbo people will now listen to this man and clap for him, thinking he is doing them any good. Nnamdi Kanu have no business being in the DSS facility, like the man mentioned. But he is saying that not because he's exonerating Nnamdi Kanu. He is saying that because he's telling you that Sunday Igboho should also be gotten. That is when justice will be seen from the lenses of the caliphate. You can see the situation we find ourselves. It's a very disturbing situation. Not as if that Sunday Igboho did anything that the Boko Haram people are doing. It's not as if Sunday Igboho, just like Nnamdi Kanu did not, is doing anything that the other terrorist group they call bandits are doing. The one they call Mieti Allah are doing. The one they call ISWAP and the rest of the terrorist organizations all over the north, who are still protected and who are getting repentant and getting into the military to be sent to the southern Nigeria where they commit havoc. And the people who are clapping, rejoicing that the person they feel they don't like his style or whatever is arrested, they don't understand the handwriting. They don't understand the handwriting on the wall. They are not concerned as to why is it that those people they have been crying about, the Fulani and their jihadist organizations, are clapping, happy, jumping, celebrating that Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, that Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned, and is still in the DSS facility. They are not disturbed that it's the same Fulani set of people that are also jumping and clapping, rejoicing, celebrating that Simon Ekpa is arrested, even when they are what they are telling you is not just what it is. And in the foolishness of these people, they didn't bother to ask the necessary questions. Okay, Simon Ekpa, you have not seen him for some days because of the investigation he's facing right now, or which he will soon be left, be freed. What is happening in Enugu right now? don't know. Anyways, hear from some reasonable people.
But people died. Because you asked me that, did they call him? Tell my own comment, because for me, I stand with Simon Eba clearly. I want you to know, but I don't hide myself. One, who is talking to our sub-government of Nigeria in Southeast, precisely in the Imo State. Do you hear that a policeman killed a DSS man for non-government? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was the early stage.
You saw that? Mm-hmm. Yes. Before Simon Ekpa emerged, Biafra struggling to join this liberation the way he's doing it now. Before him, Biafran people, Nigeria government or army, are they killing Nigerians already? Are killing Biafrans before he joined?
Absolutely. They were.
Do you know about Mpo massacre?
I know about.
Do you hear about Obibo?
I did a piece on that, or many pieces on that as well. Yep.
So a lot of. So why I'm asking, because I am an insider between when it was an IPOB. And did you know that an IPOB, that I am a member of IPOB, once I am, IPOB means Indigenous People of Biafra. Is it what it means?
That's what it means, yeah.
Can you use organization and get a freedom? Or can you use a state, a country, and get a freedom?
Well, I am not a freedom fighter, but yes, you can use an organization.
Fine.
Yes, you can use an organization to possibly get your
for your own understanding.
Yeah.
Yes. Nelson Mandela, did they call him a terrorist?
Well, he was called a terrorist, of course.
Fine. Yes. Your brother Sunday Boho, did Nigeria government call him a terrorist when they kidnapped him, when they arrested him? Did they do that?
He wasn't called a terrorist.
But what did they call him when he was arrested?
Well, it was called a non-state actor. It was called. Can I ask you some questions too, or I want you to finish asking your own questions, okay? So, do you see?
No, my own remain. Yes, I have. I have more too. Then before we summarize, then I will allow you to ask me also.
Okay.
In freedom fighting or self-defense. Self-defense, does it mean you use empty hand, and when somebody slaps you with a knife, then you use broom and sweep his leg? Is it what it means?
Self-defense just means to defend yourself, and whatever you can use, of course. Mm-hmm.
Fine. So, why I ask this question? I want to understand that for me, who has worked as a commander in Nigeria, that I am among people who run away from Nigeria because I refuse to kill IPOB members. Then I have to run away from Nigeria. I run to the country where I am now. That is me talking to you, because I have seen. Do you know what they tell us?
What?
Every Monday they fuel our motor, give us money. We patrolling on the road, and anybody we see, we flog that person. We date with him and claim that is an IPOB then that is doing it. In the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, did you hear when they say that there was a trailer of food items was born in somewhere in Southeast? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear that, yeah.
Is it Simon and his boy did that thing? Then
I don't think so. See, I think I have an idea where all these your questions are going. They are kind of like unrelated. But let me ask you something as well.
Okay.
When
go on.
When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that they would go after the invaders, was he referring to the civilians in Igbo land that disobeyed him as enemies? Was he referring to the civilians? Or was he referring to was he referring to the supposed, because around that time, was he referring to the Fulani, Hausa Fulani soldiers that were kind of drafted to the eastern Nigeria, or he was referring to civilians, the Igbos?
He's referring to the Nigeria police, not to the Nigeria armies, not even Hausa Fulanis.
Okay, is that the interpretation you finally gave to it, including the Igbos? Because you mean, right?
No, do you know why I said so? Because he called for any Igbo man who is in army and police to resign. Did he do that?
Yeah, he did. He did call them to resign. Yep.
So why did he call for them to resign? Is it not for them not to be killed?
Okay. So and those
is it not for them to kill?
You know, those that didn't, they are like what do you call it? Not civilians. Are they civilians?
Let me use one thing to back you up now. This question.
No, I still have
when there was
I still have another one. Even though,
no, I am answering you.
Okay, I'm gone.
Yes.
When Mandela was called a terrorist by the UK government, it was actually the UK government that called him. It was in fact Thatcher that called him a terrorist. Was the ANC at the time, right? Were they killing South Africans because they didn't listen to Mandela?
A lot of in South Africa appetite regime,
because it is a straightforward.
People died. People died, but I don't know who killed them. But people died.
Because you asked me that did they call him terrorist? At the time, there's a
yes.
I'll say it to you. Hang on. There was an armed wing of the ANC.
Yes.
They were practically going after the whites. Okay.
Yes.
They were going after the whites in South Africa. They were not going after blacks.
Yes.
There were blacks. They were also in support of the apartheid. And there was no that ANC called them saboteurs, betrayers, or killed them. There's no record. So you're asking me that was Mandela ever called a terrorist? Yes, he was called a terrorist by the whites because the ANC, armed wing of ANC at the time, were actually going after the whites. So, using this same narrative here, brother, I do not have any problem with the approach awareness of a lot of what some people have done, okay, in that space, all right? I am aware of the unknown gunmen when it all started. It was totally political, okay? And we know the political ones that they actually sponsored to go out there and do stuff. But what we are saying now is that if the people we are fighting for their freedom are being gunned down on the street, on the road, and we are making videos of them, is it proper, in all fairness, to still claim that it is done by unknown government when we know that it's not done by unknown government? Is it proper?
Because why I won't answer that question, because I don't know who is who, because when they do protests, when they do NSAS, I'm coming. No.
Wait too. Okay. You know about the ELA and when they make their videos.
Yeah.
I am speaking from.
Yes.
I have stood on this platform, okay, to defend.
I know you from 2019.
To defend all these lies of unknown government. I said they are political. Until I started seeing videos of our own people making videos warning civilians. They are not soldiers. You get that now? These are not soldiers. These are not Igbo policemen or what have you, like you said, right? I'm talking about civilians who get caught up in the crossfire. Tell me you haven't seen that. That would be so like.
I didn't say I did not see that too. But I want to ask, I want to say this.
Yourself, how do you feel? Does that correlate with what you believe in as a person who have fought, in fact, who have sacrificed his own freedom to have to leave that place? There's some of those things you have seen lately, do they correlate with your belief at all?
For me, yes, because they said obedient is better than sacrifice. When they say don't go, when they don't go out, you go out. Whatever you see is what you take.
That's really
obedient is better than sacrifice. When they said stay away from this place, you have to stay away. Then I also want to clear one thing from you.
Okay.
Mazdan Kanu from ESN, we all know, right?
Yes, he did.
And he said, do you hear when he said that the time will come when we are going to form our army? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I remember.
Do you hear that Mazdan Kanu was in prison, asked that Simon should give a slot on Radio Biafra? Do you hear that?
I've said that as well. I hear that too.
Yes. Do you know that now Simon and Mother Kano also said that Simon has come to bring a new dimension. We heard it from Maznandek, and he also said that we must listen to him and share his program accordingly.
Yeah.
That's what is it. I hope you heard this.
Of course.
And now Maznandek has formed ESN, and he said a time will come, we'll form our army. And Simon has formed the Army of Biafra Liberation. That is BNLA, like you said.
Right.
So why I make all these references or ask all these questions is I want to tell you that the way you rule your house is not the way I rule my house.
Okay.
The way you say things is not the way I say things. And I also want to say this: the way we Africans see things is not the way the European world sees things. Simon is still remaining in Finland, a citizen of Finland.
Yeah.
As of now, this matter that is boiling up now, has this matter been concluded?
You're asking me? No, it's not. It's still very much at the early stage.
Okay. So, and the same people now who called him back for this matter is the same people who called him time of Peter Obi when this incitement started. Is it not them? So I want to tell our people,
right,
never you dance a music, say, I will kill this person has come to the end of the road, where you are not the one who will judge the matter. We are going to be listening from here to Finland and hear how they will judge Simon. Is it not true?
Well, that is fair, yeah.
And there is things for your own eyes. You see it as these things, they are good this way. In my own eyes, I will say they are bad. Is it not my own opinion?
Well, that will be your opinion. You're right.
Why I say that?
All right, lovers of freedom. I have a reason for playing this Mayogun program. This caller here was in Nigerian army or run away. It's one of those who obeyed Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They were called in to come and commit terror in our land. This is the same work the repentant terrorists who were conscripted into the army do. Now, this is a first-hand information, what they were told to do. When you hear it at home, it is right. You know you cannot say it is wrong for people to fight for self-determination. When there is self-determination, wouldn't there be orders and instructions? So why will we incriminate what we do? That from here now, you have heard that there is no instruction, there is no order that Simon Ekpa passes that Nnamdi Kanu did not pass. And you have heard from here now that Simon Ekpa did not act on his own. They call himself a claim minister, and I already cleared that in a previous program. The minister is constituted by the government. Those who step forward to be part of the government, among themselves, they decided who will be the primus among them, who will be the head of the ministers. That is what we call prime minister. Then he has carried the burden. From that, you know, you are wrong to say self-acclaimed. And this is a government in exile. So it is the government there in exile that constituted that made the prime minister. So it's not self-acclaimed. Get corrected. And when you say you are exonerating Nnamdi Kanu, you can see that you are at fault. Whatever he's doing is in line with what Nnamdi Kanu has done. And the world has told you that Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist, has never done anything wrong. Nnamdi Kanu has given order, like Simon has given order, that anybody who come to the Biafran land to kill the people, that the person should face the same game. That's exactly what has continued. Why? Because they want to regain their territory. They want to be in charge. So why, unless the people that are left out of this are those who today, who yesterday condemned Nnamdi Kanu, today is condemning Nnamdi Kanu, they have the right to condemn Simon Ekpa. That means they don't believe in the struggle. They are fair. But if you are condemning this and upholding this, you are unfair. So the issue is very simple. That these two men are working have been exonerated at all times. They have been exonerated. For those who work for the politicians, which Nnamdi Kanu condemned and never allowed, who work for politicians are still claiming they are freedom fighters who are afraid of showing their faces, and they keep on constituting nuisance. At least this one, you know him, you know what he does. So if it turns out that he is to suffer for what he has opened up, this is what I do. So then it is for the world to know if the UN charters have been changed, that self-determination now is a sin. So he should face the offense for now doing what is a sin before the international community. Of course, you know it's a dead and arrival. Now, you have heard that when he passes order, which every freedom fighter do pass order, to be followed by the people they are fighting for. And according to Mayogun here, that when there is a confrontation between the two factions, the federal government and that of the freedom fighting organization, you see, or government, freedom fighting government agents too, that people who are outside that time might become victims. That's the ground, what my guru was saying. Then how do you then want to avert that? Since you have agreed that most of the things they call unknown government were sponsored by politicians. That is what my guru even is saying by himself here. Then this scholar related to different stories, different things, because he's all regular on the internet. He's regular informed. He's very informed. He's always online. So he know all these stories. He know all the developments. And he's attested to them. When what happened in Oka, what happened in Nkpo, what happened in Ugocha or Port Harcourt, all how the government orchestrated all this. He also has certified that he know about them. Then, after all these things, then you also agree that it is a right to go to fight for freedom, and also it is a right to engage in self-defense. Then, at what point do you now begin to falter the person in the self-defense? This now caller asked him. So the self-defense, one person will be with nuclear equipment and a military armory. Then the other one will use prayer, Holy Ghost fire, to do the self-defense, or maybe broom or packer. What would the person use so that you will be satisfied? In the self-defense, this person will be shooting guns and this person will be using Holy Ghost fire. Holy Ghost fire. Is that how the self-defense will go? So there is nobody whoever condemned this Simon Ekpa that has any locust. No locust at the no ground. It's not as if anybody is weeping for sympathy. Of course, he's a free man under investigation. Still not, and this is not even the crime he is answering, what they are telling you. The offense is violation of Finnish monetary, especially fundraising code. So now, this man also agreed that there was a time. What happened? He also remember it was even at the early stage when policeman shot a DSS officer. Thank God they are the ones saying all these things. We know them already, but thank God they are remembering this and bringing it to the public space. So then, at what point do you want to now falter that some people came out when they were told not to come out and they became victim of circumstance? Does that amount to terrorism? When you now also understand and agreed that when the issue sit-at-home order, when Simon Ekpa issue sit-at-home order, then these other people come to, and the person who was an army officer here attested to that. They were even fueled. Their vehicles were provided for them, and it was fueled. Whenever there is this sit-at-home order, they go around, bully people, and wearing a dressing in the IPOB order due to their Igbo speaking people too. Then they go around the street parading with the vehicles that are fueled to blackmail the struggle, which Simon Ekpa already always said. They just want to blackmail this. He said it in Dr. Damage's platform too. Mazen Namikano always said this too. And that they will not allow this blackmail to stop the freedom fight. So at what point do you want to falter them? At what point exactly? Because I can't see any point you want to falter him. Let us also listen to this Yoruba lady. Yes, she do misfire on her own too. She do misfire. But then
are very, very important as well. There has been a wave of buying. Nigerian journalist Dr. Kemi Lawrence for Kemi Talks Media. It's Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. Let's talk about what's going on in Southeast Nigeria. I'm going to make it clear as much as possible for everybody to understand what's going on in this video and for you to make it viral and spread it all across the internet to Nigerians. Nigerians abroad are very, very important as well. There has been a wave of buying all over Southeast Nigeria. People are being bought left, right, and center. 4 years ago, I told you about some plans and orchestrated methods to buy Southeast Nigerians, specifically the Igbos, and no one believed me. 4 years later, you're now believing me after they wiped out a lot of people in Ebonyi State, Enugu State, and so on and so forth. Yesterday, a farmer was spied on his farm after harvesting yam, cassava, and cocoyam and everything. At the end of the day, if one farmer is spied in America, do you know what's going to happen? 3 farmers by several injured. That's the headline of the Nigerian media. And you should know by now that the Nigerian media is owned by politicians and businessmen. There are people who are strategically placed in Igbo land to buy Igbos. Okay, it's a new method of what happened during the Biafran War. The people that orchestrated the Biafran War are still alive. And they've led Nigeria. General Gowon is alive. General Obasanjo is alive. General Buhari is alive. Everybody in that war, many of the strategic people are alive, and they've led Nigeria again and again. And they're watching this happen. This is the Biafra War again, secretly. But all the killings that have been going on in the metropolitan areas of Igbo land, they stick it to IPOB. They stick it to Masab. They stick it to ESN. They stick it to all the Inamdekanu groups.
All right, you have heard this also from another Yoruba woman, Kemi. This is the one some time ago. They said she is not around, by you understand. But you have heard what she said.
And they feel that we don't know what
they deliberately, stage the insecurity in our land. And because they want to blackmail the Biafran struggle, they stick it to IPOB, they stick it to Masop, they stick it to all people related to Nnamdi Kanu and his vision of self-determination. And some of you are jubilating. Why I play this is not because of this.
What's going on? People know what's going on. They're not going to talk.
Why I am playing
media is the wrong person.
I am playing this is because she mentioned something very, very important. Check your Sahara Reporter news and other news.
Well, I wanted to just touch.
You find out that within that same date that the Rue news broke on Thursday, when Peter Mba was dancing, jubilating, promising Finland to provide evidences of insecurity in Southeast as he want to relate it, point it, connect it, link it up to Simon Ekpa's activities. He promised Finland. That same day, God shamed him. Immediately the news broke, the next morning, was also the breaking of how the Fulani terrorist organization took over a community in Enugu, and farmers were buyed. Farmers were buyed, and that is why there is food hunger, there is food insecurity in Nigeria as a whole. The same terrorists whom Simon Ekpa is fighting against, immediately they hear that Simon Ekpa is will not be around for some while. They don't know, they even jubilated it's going to be permanent. What they did was to say this is opportunity to take over. Then those who jubilated with Peter Mbana, some of them now turned back to ask Peter Mbana to go and sit up. That's not enough dancing. Then how will Peter Mbana sit up when his continuous stay in office or relevance in politics is determined by the same Fulani who are doing these things? You can understand it. It is slavery. And you are jubilating for entering into another dimension of slavery. Check your dailies. Check your dailies. You see how many people that have been paid in their own farmland. They are paid for doing what? For being in their own ancestral home. And then people were asking, can Peter Mbana's brother go to Zamfara and enter somebody's farmland, let alone buying somebody in his farmland? Then that question has not been answered till today. Somebody went to his farmland just because they hate Simon Ekpa has been arrested. So their morale boosted. All of them that have been hanging in the balance, waiting for any slightest opportunity. Why? Because they manipulate your own greedy and selfish brothers. How did Finland open up this case again to investigate it? You remember this is the old case, 2022. Because the same people who were used by the Fulani government are used again. They are used again. And they are flooded. The Finnish Bureau of Investigation, their table was flooded with letter of accusations that Simon Ekpa is defrauding the Biafran people, that is defrauding them in the guise of fundraising, because some of them are living in Finland. They knew about the law, that Finland law prohibits fundraising. So they flooded their desk with thousands of letters every day, thousands of letters. Who encouraged them? Who provided the Bureau email? The Fulani Janjaweed. Because this, I know some of you might not even have known about this one. I want to tell you, the same persons that were jubilating that Simon was arrested, they made a U-turn. The Fulani people now noticing that Simon is not going in for it, they now made a U-turn to tell them they saw that the agenda did not work. They told them, you remember the animal they call Okekwensu Fulani child Nwekwensu. Okekwensu Fulani child Nwekwensu, who was jubilating with his colleagues in the criminal DOS 1 Nigeria. They made a U-turn and then turned to tell their gullible followers, no, because Fulani told them, they realized that it wasn't going to work after they have danced, that Finland is not going to accept that. They now went back to watch the video where Simon Ekpa, on his normal consciousness, where he was not under any influence, any alcohol or any influence, picked up the Nigerian passport, brought forward his scissors, cut into pieces the Nigerian passport, because and made it clear that he thereby denounced having anything to do with Nigeria. But why? They didn't know that the guy is a lawyer. He knows his onions. So all their plan, they were now going back. Some of their Igbo lawyers were now advising them, telling them that no, there's no way this side, there's no road this side. That they have succeeded in one thing, to destabilize the declaration, the redeclaration, to revive the defunct state of Biafra, which now answers the United States of Biafra. So now they know now that area they have succeeded, but the other area of trying to maybe do what they do to Nnamdi Kanu, now they now realize that Finland was also part of the European Union that told the Nigerian government to release Nnamdi Kanu on the same charges they want Finland to give to Simon: terrorism and incitement. So now you see that for the Kausa Meribo, for the Kibo Meribo, there's those people that clapped that Simon is apprehended. They now turn around again to tell Peter Mbaisi, you have deceived us. Now the Fulani, they don't enter back, they don't come back now to Enugu. Go and read from Sahara Reporters. You see how Sahara Reporters wrote it. That they have returned back. Fulani just returned, but the terrorists just returned back because they have heard that Simon Ekpa is going to be repatriated, or or it's going to be I don't know what is the best word to use for rendition. Yes. So now they quickly swung into action, and then people are victims already. People are victims already. So now you can see what. Don't worry. Watch and see what your brothers are, how they are handled. Just watch. Are you seeing all these pictures? Are you seeing all these pictures? Okay, this is what your brothers, how they are treated. Why? For raising flag. For raising flag. Can you see this? Now Peter Mbaisi is disgraced. Now see how Sahara Reporters put it. Breaking. Armed herdsmen resume attacks in Enugu State communities. Now killing 3 farmers. Are you seeing the updates? Enugu Governor held Simon Ekpa's arrest in Finland because that's what they said, that he's arrested. Now offers to provide proofs of atrocities to speed up trial. You can see that. Army welcomes repentant bandits. Different headlines you can see. Okay, so how is it supposed to be in a civilian regime or in a democracy? Now, are you seeing even the hypocrisy of the West? Israel has the right to protect themselves, and Biafra doesn't. Seeing the people jubilating. Now you see what some herdsmen that were captured confessed since 2021. You see what politicians from Fulani politicians are saying. Why the bandits, the terrorists are busy taking lives in thousands. The government own of the northern politicians. In 2021, I'm giving you, boldly said it because they were in government. that nothing will happen to their terrorist brothers. That is when they were defending their terrorists against Nnamdi Kanu. When they were defending their action on going out of international standard or practice to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu for demanding for self-determination. Now, FG not against bandits because they are doing business, not secession like Nnamdi Kanu. Bandits are doing business. Okay, so I hope you have seen it all. So I don't know why somebody who is normal human being would want to stand up against Simon Ekpa and keep mum or mute, quiet on what happens from the other divide. Anyways, I stand with Simon Ekpa. Who do you stand with? I stand with Nnamdi Kanu. I need to have a better life. My brothers need to have a better life. We need to be sure of our safety. We need to be sure that terrorists will not take over our house in the day, at night. We want to be free to go to our farmland. We don't want our mothers to be buried, our sisters to be raped, our brothers, our children to be assassinated. We want to have a better life. We want to be like normal human. We don't want to be treated like outcasts. So, I think it would be right I show you what those people who generated those letters and sent to finish Buriu that prompted this the reviving of this case. When they made their vow, people did not understand what their vow was. Now you can see this is somebody in his farmland. In his farmland, what is his crime? In Enugu. This is just 2 days ago. In Enugu, while Pitamba was jubilating to please the North, this is happening in his house, in his home. How many do you want to mention? Gross human rights violations. All these pictures. How many will you mention? How many will you leave? As we speak, this was last year. How people were, they continue to buy people. 2022, last 2 years. You see protests everywhere. Was it because of Simon Ekpa activities? This is premium times. Protests everywhere. What did this one do? They said it was accidental discharge. Accidental discharge, 12 bullets in somebody's body. A popular Igbo musician. How many do you want to mention? How many do you want to mention? Are all these Simon Ekpa? Are they all Simon Ekpa? Are they his making? I want to, there is this I want to play. I want to play this so that you understand what is happening, how people will accept to be used by the persons by the people they told their people that they are fighting against just because of money. They don't even have any human feelings at all. That instead of Simon Ekpa will bring Biafra, they will rebel it, they will sabotage it, they will do this, they will do that. It is very unfortunate. But let me play so that you will hear. And that's, as they promised, they are keeping to it. That is why you are hearing this case again surfacing. I want to play it.
Let me not generalize it. The criminal in Finland will give me Biafra. Let me not generalize it. Will give me Biafra. I will be a stone block. I will destroy it. Do you now understand what I'm saying? I will be the highest rebel. And my rebel will carry big actions. I don't rant. I don't speak what I cannot do. But I know that some of you will think that we are all the same, because social media is a place that you will be in your room, put a ring light on the camera, begin to speak. We don't come to, rant or begin to give threat. No, we don't give threat to anybody. Because we know that social media, after you finish talking, you off your camera, you go and sleep. So ranting and threatening on social media cannot give you anything. But I said this, keep this record, and write it down any place that you feel like you can't. So in a time to come, you are going to remember that Maso Kenu Kichuku the general said, if Simon ever will give me Biafra, I will be the destroyer. I will be a stone block for him. I will be, I don't know how to put this, stone block.
Top 10 secrets you must know about the Biafran Prime Minister.
All right, so I think
In Finland,
you have heard it all. That he will be a rebel, he will be a storm block. These are the people, because they saw that Simon Ekpa was really succeeding in declaring Biafra. That's why they presented themselves as willing tools. It's not that he has any capacity to do anything. He cannot even make any complete sentence. So he can't go for any bargain, or he doesn't know how to comport himself to even appear in any office. So nobody will listen to him. So what can only happen is the same people that equip those stark illiterates, those terrorists in the north, the same persons that equip them will equip him like they have been equipping them. Because for him, he don't even know about how to express himself. If he goes to, what will he tell the firm? that he want to acquire this, and with what? With his wretched self. But because they are already working with the people, with the Fulani cabals, they're already working with them. You can remember how many times he has talked against Nnamdi Kanu, the same person under Nnamdi Kanu's organization. Like his colleagues, they have said terrible things against Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Because Nnamdi Kanu choose Simon over them. Why would Nnamdi Kanu choose somebody that can't express himself? To be doing what? Is the freedom fight about Motor Park? What will you be doing exactly? Just to tell people bring money. Money for what? So, instead of Biafra to come through Simon Ekpa, that he will become a rebel. So you are waiting for when he will continue his rebel with normal gun that they have been using to destabilize our land? No. The rebels started that day. They gathered themselves, and the Fulani government provided them the email to the Bureau, the Helsinki investigative Bureau, and they began to bombard it with thousands of allegations, letters, until the Bureau took it serious to say, oh, Simon, you need to come and explain these things. So they are weightier, and not things that we will sweep under the carpet. These are the people. This is how they rebelled it. Now, because of your hatred, over 80 million people, because of your hatred, because of your greed, over 80 million people should, because you don't like somebody who is doing it. That's why they never agreed with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But they just want to be seen as leaders. DOS. Can you see the kind of envious people that some people have been following all the years until God came to deliver them? You had to gather people. They began to bombard the Finnish Bureau of Investigation. And that is why this thing happened. And that's why they said, this is not the first time they say it. I don't know how many of you will remember they've said it before. This time is just, why it is different is that, okay, I will show you. People replied him now, I will show you. Why it is different this time is that he made this one now more emphatic. That he will be a rebel, he will become that people don't know his capacity. Because he comes to social media, the people don't know him. What been going on about Southern Germany? So because you have the capacity to sabotage your people, you boast about it. You have the capacity to because of the platform Nnamdi Kanu gave. Who are you? Who can you before Nnamdi Kanu's emergence? Can you express? Do you even know how to open click on YouTube? Instead of they rebel everybody. They picked up our lawyer Ejimako, they sabotaged him, they maligned him, painted him black, because their kind of white that was their eyes, that promised them of political connection through Ifeanyi Oba, have been sacked by Nnamdi Kanu because Nnamdi Kanu decoded it. He found out what they were up to. Since then, they were so agonized that they hated Aloy Ejimako for just no reason, because the person that was their informant, playing the coin for Fulani and to them, who later picked up the House of Reps a ticket, wanted to, I didn't know if he later succeeded. Then a barrister who was proud to say, I am as my capacity as Nnamdi Kanu lawyer, and also as a as what did they again? He said as a stakeholder or what? Stakeholder for being what? For being charge and pay lawyer. You're a stakeholder. It is very bad. It is very bad. But Fulani child, okay, Fulani child, it's good. It's good. He said his own. We kept his record. He said his own, all the things he said. I only told him to repent because he might be forgiven if he repents. You cannot fight your people, no matter how long. You cannot fight your people. The record will be there for you. You cannot fight. You cannot cook for your whole community. You cannot. No one person have that capacity. It is one thing to say, I am no more interested in this and back off, than to challenge your whole community that you will deal with them, you will do that, you will do this. You won't, it won't be easy. You can't avoid, you can't run away from it. It will be like your shadow remaining with you. Responses. A lot of people responded, and their responses were very pretty interesting, and that you would like to see a couple of these responses. It was really wittier. It was really witty allegations. I am supposed to start, but let me not start from there. I will advance from these responses, then point out to this part. Okay. All right. The first response was from Prince Joe. I want you to see it so that you know. Prince Joe. Can you see it clearly? Good. Prince Joe said, this fool at the Biafran child made a video to say he doesn't have what it takes to bring Biafra. Can you people remember when he said this? When he did a video, he said he doesn't have what it takes to get Biafra. So today now he has what it takes, or he don't want the Biafra again. He said, I remember the video is most people should remember this. Now, envy and jealousy drove him into making this confession. But thank God he's making the confession. He will be a stumbling block to Biafra. That's what he said. I wish him luck. I hope he knows what he just said. He may join Issa Funtua et al., who said something like this before. And they should know where they are now. That is for Prince Joe. Another person, Nwanyoma responded. You can see Nwanyoma. And see what Nwanyoma said. Okay. So this idiot should shut his kin mouth up. His noise making is making him look more stupid by the day. You can rebel but fight for Biafra for 15 years. You claim you have the capacity to rebel, and you are fighting for Biafra 15 years with nothing to show for. I am sure these fools don't sleep at night trying to figure out how my PM shut all of them down. How can they sleep now? Now this one is Chinwo Nwa Biafra. Chinwo. See it. Chinwo Nwa Biafra. Now you see Chinwo. First, you just confirmed that Simon Ekpa is actually bringing Biafran liberation to reality. Thank you for the confirmation. Second, you just priced your casket. No challenge. We are always around to check out something when the need arises. What do we even know, Seth? Let's wait for the right time. Now, Nwanyocha. Okay, let me narrate from Nwanyocha again. Then let's read from Dawn, the dawn of Biafra. Now the dawn of Biafra, he turned off camera to check the English he used, whether it's stump, because he couldn't even pronounce the word stump. Instead of saying the stumbling block or stumbling, so he don't let me not bronchi, but at least these common things. Chai alomele MNK. He was trying to say Onyendu surrounded himself with morons. Then a lot of other comments. Lying machines turning into gossip mills. Biafrans love Simon Ekpa even as he is facing this challenge for now. The big value is a savior. Biafrans are wise and awake. That is for Moses Iluchuku. MPM Eni Oga, instead you will stop Biafra liberation. Our ancestors will call you soon. You will be considered gone so soon. This is a heavy crime. Having our flag at his back and committing felony. All right, we will answer him in the right time. Now the Okoko has accepted and believes that PM Simon Ekpa Njoko will give him Biafra. So he decided to fight against it. This is the definition that's for Michael Osuji now I want to read. Definition of hungry, of a hungry man is an angry man. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made a very big mistake by working with this bunch of hungry morons. We are keeping their records. Let him continue. That is Obaino King. Then Ben Tucci, Hunger Deo, Hunger one finisher. Do we need evidence? That is from Betty Ford. Do we need any evidence to this clear confession of a man who does not want Biafra to come? Or he will block it? Open and public threats that the internet will not forget. Thank God they don't know this. Our problem exactly are Igbo sabotage. Esther Chinwendo. After they will tell you it is the South or any other tribe. The biggest threat, biggest problem is exactly the Igbo people sabotaging the struggle, which I also agree with. They go talk say now we now our people say now that can not be on the sabotage now you, but that's not why we have come here. So this man has been fighting against the restoration of Biafra. Why Biafrans thought that he was agitating for Biafra restoration. The mask is now off. Wow. Thank God for this development too. Now Shades of Wealth replying. He has proven us right by affirming to be a stumbling block against the coming of Biafra. At the same time, it has dawned on him that our PM has brought us Biafra and nothing can stop the 2nd December declaration. Then with Simon Ekpa, that's the name of this one, on record, the Biafra child don't beg tomorrow. We are telling you now, don't beg tomorrow. Remember, there are forgivable and non-forgivable sins. Your own is obviously a non-forgivable. We shall see. Let's keep going. Mark this comment for Chukwu, for Okechukwu. He's not okay. He's okay. Chai Onyeriri, he can't even hide the envy against our honorable PM anymore. Thank God, this record will be an evidence against him when the time comes. He's just making noise to make money. We all love Simon Ekpa and MNK. Okay. Now you will begin to see these other headlines. You begin to see these headlines. I've seen all these headlines. Now, among all these headlines, I want to dwell on one. Yeah, I hope you are still seeing the headlines. It's all right. Keep enjoying it. After we come to 2 or 3, and then I will end the program. I've seen all the headlines from Nigerian newspapers. Okay. Now we are going to Vanguard newspaper. All the insecurity we hear in Southeast or in Abia State, opposition politicians, not IPOB, that are responsible for violent attacks in Abia State. Governor Alex Oti alleging. Opposition parties, opposition politicians are the ones responsible. It's not IPOB. Many of you can remember that Obiano also said this also. Even Hopeless Ozodimba said this too at a point where he felt it was Okorocha and his colleagues. Then he said, all these things are not IPOB. We know. Today, all of them now are reversing themselves to tell the world that it's Simon. They don't know we keep record of everything that happens. Good. Sowore in his program tried to call out the Nigerian government by exposing some things. He went to prison, correctional facility in Niger State. He said that this is where the Igbo people and all other Biafran people are dumped in Niger State and some other northern. He saw them, a lot of them, for just no reason, for clamoring for self-determination. For maybe they are found with Biafran flag and they have been rotting in jail. And to you, it's not a problem because you are free. Now see Shuwure's, so that you see. Shuwure, the owner of Sahara Reporters. Now, he saw this particular 2 men. Upon interrogating them there, he found out that these men were just carriers of flag for self-determination. Since 2021, they have been there. Now, this couple, Mr. Ifedi Sunday and Mrs. Ifedi Callista have been held hostage by lawless official DSS Nigeria on behalf of Nigeria's insatiable need for national unity since 2021. At Wawa Barrack in Niger State, they were accused of being members of IPOB, nothing more. And according to Sewere, he continued, he said, there are several other Biafrans there. Several others. You might think I am trying to make up. You can see that? Okay. There are several other Biafrans there, languishing. That's why Barrister Aloy Ejimako now called on Professor Ango Abdullahi and other northern leaders to call the federal government to apologize to Nnamdi Kanu after they had affirmed that 10 years ago Nigeria expired. And there's need for referendum. Then Aloy Ejimako was like, okay. So if this is this, if Nigeria expired 10 years ago, what's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doing in detention? As the first person to educate Nigerians and the world on of this subject on Radio Biafra years ago, the northern politician or political elites and the entire political class in Nigeria should apologize to the IPOB leader and free him. So, are you seeing this? This is what is happening. Thank you for listening. Please do good to share this program and make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not. Thank you and remain blessed. Akpanakpana Soko from Biafran Radical Freedom TV. It's alright, we'll meet next.
Enjoy. Equata. Hey. Simon and the pilot. Go to hell, tell Elisa we no give up. Put me for God, tell am say we conquer. Now our destiny we born to save Africa, freedom and restoration. If you no get man come up, or you collect what you do. I don't have to stop us. Don't stop us. Take me to hunger, you will reach us. Speak for us. After Nigeria don't go away, we could struggle for the pilots. They complain, say hunger too much, say suffer too much, but my people don't like that.